you and welcome back to the show. I am Jamie, and this is, of course, the Chat Trap on Relax Radio, where we talk to you about all things interesting. And I want you to be a part of the show, okay? I want you to call me up, let me know what's going on. You could most definitely do that by calling us on 07852 or by leaving a comment down below. I want to say a big hello going out to every single one of you that have been a part of the show so far. We have a bunch of people listening in. With Moku listening in, thank you so much for being a part of the show. We have Patrick, Sam, and Hilda listening to us on our website, and we have a bunch of people listening in on the app as well. Hello, going out to every single one of you. We've been having such diverse conversation. We were talking about Afghanistan earlier on, and I gave you a little update of what's happening. But I want you to tune in. I want you to leave a comment down below. Since this is happening live, I can have a live conversation with you, which is always pretty interesting. So go ahead and share your thoughts and opinions. So right now, though, I want to talk about how in England, apparently the COVID cases are 26 times higher than a year ago. Now, me as a normal citizen, the first thing that came into my mind is, how is that even possible? Because this year we had a vaccination program in place. So how are COVID cases 26 times higher than it was last year, this year? So that's definitely something that I want to talk to you about as well. And I just want to remind you before we get on into that conversation, okay, I feel like the most used word in the past 2 years is definitely COVID. And you're probably sick of hearing the word COVID and just want to get it over with. But the reason I want to talk to you about this is so that you have like a general idea of what is happening in England and around the world as well. Now, I also want to remind you that if so far you haven't contracted the virus, if so far you haven't lost your job, or even if you have lost your job and you've been able to bounce back, I want to remind you to be grateful, okay? It's not the situation for so many people out there, and all our prayers and our hopes and our well wishes needs to be out there with people, especially the frontline healthcare workers, essential workers, and especially all of those that have lost family, that have lost their jobs, their livelihoods because of COVID-19. So definitely here at Relax Radio, we keep every single person in our prayers, in our well wishes, in our hopes, and I just hope for a better tomorrow. But I just want to remind you to be grateful, okay? If you still can get up and go to work, and if you still have a roof above your head and some food to eat, you need to be so grateful, because that's not the situation. That's not that's not the situation for so many other people out there. So be grateful for whatever little you have, because like I always say, the life you're living is a fairy tale to somebody else. Somebody else looks at your life and goes, oh my goodness, I wish I had at least a little bit of what they have. And no matter how crazy your life may seem right now, trust me that you need to be grateful, because what you have is something that a lot of people don't have. All right, with that being said, let's get on into the COVID discussion now. Coronavirus infections in England are apparently, as of now, as of August, are 26 times the levels that were experienced this time last year, according to the Office for National Statistics. And scientists describe the figures as sobering, okay? And they also warned that the reopening of schools in England this week was likely to trigger a further rise in COVID cases. And they said that most students, a lot more is going to follow when students return to universities and colleges. Now, a fresh wave of infections could in turn lead to a new social restrictions being imposed as, of course, winter approaches. But as a result, there's so much pressure that is mounting on the Joint Committee of Vaccination and Immunization to approve the deployment of booster jabs for vulnerable people and the extension of vaccination to most 12 and 15-year-olds as well. Now, that again is something that has come under a lot of controversy. A lot of people are saying, yes, we do need booster jabs, and our 12 to 15-year-olds need vaccination as well. But I do heard a lot of people that are opposed to all of this. Go ahead and let me know what you're thinking. Do you think the booster jabs should be given as soon as possible, or do you think it should be given to other more deserving places in the world or more deserving communities? And do you think the 12 to 15-year-olds deserve to be, or do they require to be vaccinated? Go ahead and let me know by leaving a comment down below. Right now, though, we're going to head on off into a little break. We do have a lot more to talk to you about, so make sure that you keep it tuned right here on Relaks Radio.
Again. But now, if you say to a child, if I went up to a child and said, you've had one to forget, God, there'd be an inquest. Why did you reject my son? Well, I haven't rejected your son.
I want to talk about, how the generation gap, how much has changed, especially when you check the youth nowadays in comparison, to people back in the day.
I'd say when I was younger, it was more disciplined. Not now.
In comparison to now.
Not at all. Not now. The way things are nowadays, the younger generation, you seem that they can't accept the word no. If that makes sense. They can't
accept rejection, essentially, is all you're trying to say.
Yeah, they can't accept the word no. So if you, how did I do? Well, you didn't do very well. And they get upset, and when I was a youngster, my father used to say to me, because I used to be sport mad when I was very young, well, I still am sport mad, but like participating in different sports. And if I had a bad game, for example, my dad would say to me, you had one to forget. That's it.
Your dad sounds like a smart guy. I mean, yeah, that's the real fact of the matter, yeah.
He'd say to me, you had one to forget. Get over it. And that was it. So I dust myself down and do it again. But now, if you say to a child, if I went up to a child and said, you've had one to forget, God, there'd be an inquest. An inquest. Why did you reject my son? Well, I haven't rejected your son. Or daughter. I've just told them that they need to buck their ideas up.
That's the truth right there. I mean, if you think about it, if you check the generations, like right now in the US as well, I've seen a lot of these things as well. In the UK, you get medals for participation. But what's the point? What are you trying to? Yeah, what's the point? Either you win or you lose. People are so afraid to put that whole notion of losing. When it comes to right now, the generation gap is just crazy. How much a lot has changed. Social media has taken control of our lives, and we don't even realize it anymore. We're crippled because of it.
That's absolutely right, Nick. Because, as you said, nowadays it seems that you get rewarded for failure. For the life of me, Nick, I can't get my head around that. Perhaps I'm just getting old and morbid. I don't know. I just can't get my head around how you could be rewarded for failure.
A very good day to you and welcome back to the show. I am Jamie and this is, of course, the Chat Wrap on Relaks Radio, where we talk to you about all things interesting. So go ahead, be a part of the show, leave a comment down below and make sure that you hit that thumbs up button as well so that I know that you're liking what we're talking about. And if you don't like it as well, that's okay. Go ahead and let me know by leaving a comment down below or by calling us on 07852 473 473. Now, we've been talking about the COVID situation in England, and I told you how COVID cases in England are actually 26 times higher than it was a year ago. And I've told you how there's a lot of pressure on the Joint Committee of Vaccination and Immunization to approve the deployment of booster jabs for vulnerable people and also to extend the vaccinations, which means to basically vaccinate the 12 to 15-year-olds in England or in the UK as a whole. Now, I told you how there's a lot of controversy with regards to this plan because a lot of people are saying no, the booster jabs, they need to be sent to countries or they need to be given to communities that are extremely vulnerable. And, we've already had our 2 jabs and that's good enough. Whereas some other people are saying no, the citizens of England needs it as well. Whereas a lot of people it's kind of on the fence with regards to the vaccination process of 12 to 15-year-olds. I want to know what you're thinking. Do you think that the 12 to 15-year-olds need to be vaccinated? Do you think that we need our booster jobs? Go ahead and let me know on the comments. Now, with that being said, apparently the fact that deaths and hospital admissions rather from COVID-19 are a fraction of their levels at the height of the outbreak in Britain demonstrates that there is protective power of the vaccines. So what I'm getting to is that even though the number of cases are higher as it was compared to last year, right now it's higher than it was last year at this point, the fact that deaths have reduced and the fact that hospital admissions have reduced shows that the vaccines do have a huge part to play. It shows that there is protective power of the vaccines and that more than 60% of the UK population have had both of their jabs, which means that has definitely reduced the hospital admissions and the death rate as well. So again, I've said this before and I've said it again to all of those who anti-vaxxers out there, all of those who are kind of skeptical about the vaccine. Listen, you need to get the vaccine, not just for your protection, but for the protection of others around you as well. Because yes, you could still get COVID with the vaccine, but the chances of you if you're getting really, really bad is reduced with the vaccine. And that essentially, we do have proof that there is protective power of the vaccine, at least in England. So go ahead and get your jabs right now. With that being said, I also want to remind everybody to make sure that you keep it tuned right here on Relaks Radio, because we do have a lot of interesting things that we want to share with you. That's basically what we do. We're here to keep you informed, inspired, and entertained. So make sure that you check us out on our social media. That is Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, Periscope, basically everything. Okay, we go as Relaks Radio. Go show us some love. I'm going to head off on into a little break. When I come back, though, I do have a lot more interesting things to talk about. So make sure that you keep it tuned right here on Relaks Radio.